All right, wait for a couple more people. We're gonna go over the AE bullet. Okay, purpose of this video is to kind of review what the AE bullet is, go over some, just an overview of what it is. I'll go into detail more with some builds. This car obviously is built, but I'm gonna build another one here real soon, a couple of them, and I'm gonna document the build so you guys can see all the different things that on how to put it together. It's easier for me to do a video than to write down an instruction manual. I'm not a manual person, I guess. So, okay, so let's see. So far, I think we've shipped over 45. We're approaching 50 of the TLR cars. Thank you very much. It's a cool experience to be involved with this, and we sold about 18 of the AE cars so far, a lot of them local, and we're finding that shipping right now sucks. I've been trying to get some to Tucson for a week and a half, so I'm not sure whether we're gonna hold until after the election. I'm assuming the election's causing the shipping issues, but we're definitely having some shipping issues. There's one guy that his car is running around the US, and we're trying to ship another one that's doing the same thing, so apologies for the shipping problems, but it seems to be a common thing. I know Amazon, I'm not getting stuff from TLR or Amazon, or it's taking a lot of time to get everything, so it's just kind of the nature of what the world is right now. So sorry for that. If you're waiting on a chassis and haven't got it yet, we've shipped it. It's just shipping sucks. If you want to know more about this car after this video, I started a Facebook page called The Bullet Experience. It's all the different TLR and now AE different versions people have built and ideas, and I'm trying to post everything I see up there so that we have one place to have everything to go after the bullet setups and stuff, and just everything about it. So one spot, because it is kind of unique where it has low-C and AE, I didn't want to have people posting on a low-C side and people posting on an AE side, and information gets lost. So the Bullet Experience on Facebook, check it out. It'll be all about just this chassis and both AE and low-C cars. So this weekend we're gonna test this car. I'm gonna get the electronics in it, and I sent two, one to Frank Greer, one to Taylor Spencer over in Tucson, and we're gonna try to have all three of them out testing this weekend. So my passion is TLR. I've raced with them raced TLR stuff since I've been a kid, so I've been tuning the TLR car, and I'm hoping that Frank and Taylor will help me tune the AE car. They know a lot about AE stuff, and I don't have a lot of experience with AE, but building the kit, it's a really nice car, so I'm definitely very excited for this. Bullet cheese. yeah. I haven't heard of that either, John. Good to see you, buddy. Good to hear from you. So this weekend I have 4 or 5 of them going to what I consider probably the fastest guys in Arizona to start testing and getting setups done for the AE car. So Frank, Taylor, Abel, who just won the Southwest Nationals. I'm going to get him one this weekend. You have Jeff McDowell, who set the fastest time at that race. He's getting one this weekend. So we're trying to get the fastest guys in Arizona to have this chassis so that we can get setups and get this thing as fast as it can be, as quick as possible. So good things coming with setups, because there's a lot of really fast people that are going to be tuning on this car. Let's see what else we got here. I got some notes. So what you get and what's needed to build this car. What you get, our goal was trying to make a very simple car very fast. So what you get is a carbon chassis. You get a front bulkhead that accepts all of the kit TLR. It's hard to see in the light, but it's this aluminum front bulkhead that accepts everything from the B62. This is a B62 kit, so it flattens the front end, and you get the front shock tower, and everything else either comes in the kit or you have to purchase separate. This wheelie bar. I can't say enough about Vanishing Point and Troy Stacy. He, hey Larry, how you doing? He makes a hell of a wheelie bar. So we've made it to where in the AE car, this adapts onto the chassis. It's shock absorbed, so you can call up Troy Stacy at Vanishing Point, get the wheelie bar for this car. Very high quality stuff, so he does great work. So this is a B62. This also accepts a B61, a B6, and I believe a B5M, but I have to verify. So it's hard to see, but if you look at the bolt patterns on the bottom, we have bolt patterns. This is a B62, so those holes are filled, but there's also other holes for stand-up, layback. Believe B5M. I know it's B5 something. I'm not an AE guy, but we did put bolt patterns for a few different cars on this, so it should accept the majority of the popular cars. What else we got here? Electronics. So for people just getting into it or haven't seen my cars before, I wanted to show you. I'm going to show you the low-C car that I got with the electronics. So I run servo is variable. Any shorty servo is good. I run a Max Amps battery. Currently, I either run an R1 or I run Tekin RX8. And of course, everything I run has Phantom motors in it. This is a 3.0. Hey Jeff, how you doing, man? I got your chassis ready to go. It's coming out on Friday. I'll see you there. So 3.0 motor. I believe at the this is the car I ran at the Southwest Nationals, and I think it was the only car over 70 miles an hour out there. My ET was not something to brag about. I couldn't figure out the track or traction, but the horsepower's there. So Phantom, Max Amps, and R1, unbeatable in my opinion, very fast. Another thing to note too on the electronics is there's a couple different servo configurations that people have come up with. This is just a standard 5.0 servo mount, and on the associated one, I'm going to do the same thing. This is the associated B62. I'm just going to use the stock mounts. There are holes drilled for the stock mounts. That comes in the kit, but there's been some kind of cool ways to hook the servo up to the rack because it's not as easy as you might think in some situations. What else we got here? So build details are coming with the next build. I said that before. Just to go over kind of an overview of what this kit is and what it does. The front, so it's built out of an off-road car. The goal is, and I don't know if you can see it, but the goal is to get the ride height fairly flat. I'm just gonna get a better light. And this light is horrible. Come on. You want to get the ride height fairly low and fairly flat. So what this bulkhead does that we make is it lowers the. Let me see if I can get this a little lower. All right. It's about as good as I can get it. It lowers the ride height where everything is flat. Off-road cars have a lot of ride height, so it's not ideal for drag racing, right? So I'll go over more detail when I build it with you guys, but I'm actually flipping the rack over, and everything else is pretty much a stock. Well, I flip the rack over, and then I drill holes in the front, and I put the shocks out forward. Reason for the shocks forward is I want all the weight out front. Pretty big component is if I add weight, I want to add it all the way in the front or all the way in the tip and the very back of the car. So moving the shocks forward is what I did on the low-C car. Did the same thing with the associated car. I like the shocks out forward for the weight. So I flip the rack, shocks forward. Everything else is pretty much kit stock on the car, and it gives you this ride height where everything's level at maybe 15 to 20 millimeter ride height. So pretty low, right? And then the back, I run and this thanks to Jeff McDowell, he gave me an emergency care package of a bunch of AE parts, but included in that was a metal idler gear for the lay-down transmission, which I think is a must, and I'm running the stock slipper, which I think there's some slipper mods to add another disc in there if needed, but I'm going to try just the kit stock slipper this weekend. And I think that's about it for and diff up. I run diff high and hubs high in the back, and shocks on the back, right? I like the weight all the way back or all the way forward. And then the wheelie bar is, like I said before, it's vanishing point wheelie bar. On this car, it'll accept any associated bolt pattern wheelie bar because it's an associated B62 of the whole back on top of this chassis is B62. I went with the vanishing point bar. I run his bar on my Losi car and it works amazing. I think it's a important piece of going straight and going fast, so I'd highly recommend this wheelie bar. And he sells a kit for this chassis that it bolts right on to the back of the chassis and to the gearbox with these shocks that are really small and really smooth. So they're custom work shocks that I believe come in the kit. So that's a quick overview of what comes in the car, what you need, kind of the overview of the build. But again, I'll be making probably a front end video and a back end video, just like I did with the TLR, to answer the majority of the questions when people get all these kits that are going out. Let's see. Oh, and also I built this out of, this is a good one, hold on. I built this out of this kit. So there's a couple different B62 kits. I'm using the gear diff one. That's backwards, but you get the idea. So this is the carpet version. I recommend the carpet version for this. They have different length arms. I kind of did research on what the differences in the kit is. The different length arms by 2mm, I don't think is going to be a factor in going straight. But the gear diff most likely is going to be stronger than the ball diff. So I've tried both. I don't think there's a big difference between either one of them, but this kit is what this car is built out of, and this is what I'm going to be building other cars out of, unless I find something crazy with a 2mm longer rear arm. So this is what I would recommend. Let's see. So there are some screws and shims that are not included that I'll outline in the build too, but at least on the back, I'm just shimming the entire thing 2mm, and then there's one spot that needs a 4mm shim, so the thing sits flat on the chassis. And when I build the back, I'll show you how that is. It's probably the hardest part of the build, is trying to get these little shims underneath the gearbox. It can be difficult. So that's kind of the, I announced it a couple days ago. We've sold a good amount of them now, so I wanted to just give people an idea of what it is. I'll have an update when we run it this weekend. I'm going to run it at 2 different events. One in up north in Jay's event, which is a kind of a prep legal flashlight start race, cash race, and then I'm going to run it at Coy's race for AZRC. So Coy is our NPRC representative, so he's been putting on races for years, so I'm going to run it in that race. I think it's a list race, so I'll give you guys an update on how it runs. I'm very excited. I got a lot of horsepower in this one. That's a 2.5, and I'm going to put a lot of timing in it with a big battery and see what it does. So the last thing I'll say, there's been some good races happening over the last few months. There's been some controversy, but we've decided to team up with Off the Wall Drag Racing and start putting on some races here. So for the local people, I think there's going to be some pretty awesome races. Everybody's invited. I think the fastest people in AZ will be there. Hopefully some other people come. I'll be posting. I need to figure out the dates with some of the main organizers. But I think there's some good racing coming with, thanks to Curtis with Off the Wall Racing. We're going to team up with him and Team Arizona, people that I race with, and do a couple events before the end of the year, and then make a schedule for next year and start running some as big a races as I can promote. So hopefully some California people come down, some Vegas people, maybe some OKC people, but keep your eye open for that. And thanks to Curtis, I think he has an excellent timing system. He was Off the Wall, ran the Southwest Nationals, and it was one of the best run races that I've been to. It was an awesome event, so I'm excited to partner with him to put on some cool stuff. So looking forward to that. Hi, Christy. Just talking about off-the-wall drag racing, and we're going to do some good stuff together. So I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I think that's about it. As always, you can always message me for questions. Sorry for the delay in the shipping. There's a couple that people have been waiting for a little while for their cars, and it's shipping all over the place. So I think that's about it. I'm looking forward to this car. It built really good, and I'm confident it's going to put down a pretty serious number this weekend to get it all tuned in. So go join the Bullet experience, learn about these cars. If you got any questions, message me, and I'll see you guys at the track.